Time, Dr. Freeman? Is it really that time again? It seems as if you only just arrived.
It all started in Half-Life 1, aka the early 2000s. Gordon Freeman, a worker, started his tram ride into the Black Mesa facility. The Black Mesa facility is a secret research lab out in the desert of New Mexico. Built in the 1950s around a nuclear silo meant for the Cold War. Anyways, Gordon Freeman was to take part in an experiment on a Zen crystal the scientists at the lab had managed to get a hold of. This was important since they believed these crystals could make teleportation an easy and very economical thing to do. Black Mesa also had a rivalry with another science facility called Aperture Science, who was also trying to make teleportation an easy thing. These guys created the Portal gun, and it's in their lab that the games Portal and Portal 2 takes place. But because of this rivalry, it needed to be done a bit quicker and less precautions were taken. Gordon Freeman was assigned to do some research at the anti-mass spectrometer, which checks the mass and concentration of atoms and molecules in crystals. Gordon Freeman was gonna take a look at the Zen crystal GG3883, which was the purest and most unstable crystal the scientists had found yet. So, when the crystal was put in the spectrometer, this happened.
Shut it down! Shutting down! Someone get it! Shut it down! It's not shutting down! Move down!
It teared a rift between Earth and the border world Zen. So, what is the Zen / the border world? Well, I think the best way to explain is to start by zooming all the way out. The universe. So, if we zoom out, we actually got tons of universes. This is called the multiverse. This means there exist multiple different universes, probably an infinite amount. I saw this great way to explain it, so let me tell you it. Imagine a piece of graph paper being the multiverse. Every single square in the graph paper is another universe different from the last. The blue line in between is Zen. It's a border world you need to break / pass through to get access into another universe. And this is what they open up a portal into in Half-Life 1. But the thing is, the Zen world isn't empty. It got multiple life forms living there, which means when the explosion from the rift happens and everyone passes out, a dozen of alien creatures passes through the portal and starts attacking and killing people working at the Black Mesa facility. I will now go through the creatures who passed through. Alien creatures in the world of Half-Life. Most alien creatures invading Earth in Half-Life are from the Zen world, though not native to its place since it's a border world, which means that multiple life forms have escaped into this world to hide from something. The alien races living there I will touch on now. Headcrabs and zombies. First, the most famous probably. Headcrabs. These alien creatures are very small and remind a bit of a spider, jumping spider specifically. The purpose of jumping is to attach its mouth to the head of its host since it's a parasite-like creature. When the head crab manages to latch on to a human's head, it will take control over the human's nervous system and change the appearance of the person radically into a zombie-like creature. The zombie. The zombie is also very famous and is not very dangerous. It walks slowly and will try and kill everything it sees. Best way to take it out is to shoot/kill the headcrab on the person's head, whereafter the lifeless body will drop off, as well as the dead person will fall to the ground. Some headcrabs will also turn the zombie into a gnome, which is a mature version of the zombie. Different variations of these zombies also exist, since some headcrabs are different than others. Fast headcrab. The fast headcrab looks much thinner and have bigger legs. It moves much quicker than a normal headcrab, and when attaching onto a human it will turn the person into a fast zombie only consisting of bones and muscles. Much more dangerous. Poison headcrab. The poison headcrab is very dangerous as well. It has the biggest resemblance to a spider out of them all, having a bit of hair on it, and when hit/bitten by it you will fall victim to its venom, depleting you of life. When turning a human into a zombie, it will turn the human into a nest almost, being able to carry multiple headcrabs on its body. The armored headcrab have a thick armor on its back, making it immune to shots until it reveals its underbelly before jumping, making it able to kill it in one shot. These can also take over humans, where you'll need to kill the human body first. Lightning dogs are a headcrab filled with electricity, being able to make power failures and destroying electrical equipment. The dog/headcrab can burst a small electricity charge, and when shot too many times it emits a blinding flash and thereafter a smoke cloud, making it possible for it to flee. It can also crawl into corpses and control the body, making it able to send electricity shots after you when fighting it. Gonarch. And at last, the Gonarch, a version of the headcrab that is believed to be a fully grown version of a headcrab, being very big and able to take lots of shots because of its exoskeleton. When fighting it, it will burst out baby headcrabs, which can make it a bit tough. The Gonarch has only been spotted in the Zen world as of now. Fun fact, you can actually tame a headcrab. One example is Dr. Kleiner's pet Lamar. This is possible if you remove its beak, making it impossible for the creature to take over a host. This makes them harmless, which apparently removes its parasitic instincts, though they still love watermelons. Race X. So, Race X is interesting. They are a species living in the Zen, but of course not original to it. They come from another universe and have had some trouble adapting to Zen. I will not touch on this race too much, since it have only appeared in the game Half-Life Opposing Force, being the antagonist in it. But this means these aliens are the creation of Gearbox and not the original creators, Valve. This means it have been speculated whether they are canon or not, and the creatures were really just an excuse to put some other gameplay in the game. So I will not go into the discussion on these, also they are probably never gonna return to the franchise anyways, so no worries. Antlions are also creatures of the Zen, working much like ants in the real world. They are big insect-like creatures and are aggressive creatures as well. They cannot see but have great hearing. They are social creatures living in large underground colonies. The antlions also have a big hierarchy, with the antlion soldier being the most common found. Next you have the antlion grub, being a small larvae that will later on turn into an antlion. Antlion workers are the antlions found in or near the nests. They build the tunnels using the neurotoxin they have inside them. Next is the antlion guard, which is usually found in the outer perimeters protecting the nest, being much more robust and dangerous than a normal antlion. And at the top of the hierarchy, you got the antlion guardian, being the leader of the colony, usually found patrolling the larval clusters protecting the nest. These look close to an antlion guard, but are much more dangerous. Zen aliens. So, these are all the aliens I didn't mention yet. There are a lot, so I will quickly go through. Also, there are a lot of cut content that I can't be bothered going through, since it's not even in the final version. Alien aircraft is a flying alien looking like a manta ray. Some say these are mechanical and others say they are living creatures. They should be peaceful beings but capable of being very dangerous in battle, since they are able to shoot off energy beams. Alien grunt. The alien grunt is one of the most common aliens. They are pretty big and can take a good amount of damage. Barnacle. The barnacle is a creature hanging off ceilings. The creature is also not able to move and therefore uses its long tongue as a trap to pick up creatures walking into it and eating it. The tongue is strong enough to pull up creatures at the size of humans. Boyd. The boyd is much like a bird, not dangerous or anything, it just flies around, chilling in the void. Bull Squid. The bull squid is a very aggressive creature, attacking almost everything in line of sight. It will either try to eat you with its tentacle mouth, or tail whip you, or at long range spit acid. Not so fun fact, Eli Vance actually lost his leg to a bull squid, spitting acid on it when trying to help Isaac Kleiner. Chum Toad is a toad-like looking creature, mostly just chilling on rocks, avoiding trying to be eaten by other sentient life forces. The chum toad is also not dangerous to humans, and if you try to attack it, it will just teleport. Gargantua has a look close to the alien grunt, but this one is much bigger, hitting almost 6 meters. The enemy is very dangerous, and it's almost like fighting a living tank. Houndeye. The Houndeye is much like a dog, using a high-pitched sound to communicate, resembling a dog's barking. The creature hunts in packs and will usually attack you straight on. Ichthyosaur is an alien fish, pretty dangerous, and will appear in big pools of water throughout the games. Leech is a friendly sucker. No, just kidding. It's an alien organism living in water, sucking the blood out of the unlucky person to meet it. They also exist in the real world, which you probably already knew. Protozoan. The protozoan is also a peaceful creature, not attacking you. It's really just a floating blob/sphere. So yeah, very cool. Snark is a small beetle-like creature. For their size, they are pretty dangerous, but only if you go too close or threatens its nest, where it will jump out at you, biting you with its sharp beak. Tentacle. The tentacle is a large creature responding to vibrations in the earth or sounds, whereafter it will pop out of its hiding/the dirt, revealing itself to be a big sharp-headed worm, impaling any creature in vicinity of its hole with its big blade-like head. Vortigons. At last, the Vortigons just being much like the other aliens, though they seem to have a more human-like way of thinking. So, finally, back to the story. The aftermath of the resonance cascade. Gordon Freeman wakes up to aliens running around and killing the workers of the Black Mesa facility. His first move is to get out of the facility as fast as possible before being killed by these aliens as well. Through his journey to the surface, he encounters newly deployed military forces. This is a happy surprise, but only moments after, he witnesses them not only killing aliens, but also the workers of the facility. Gordon Freeman gets shot at and realizes they are not there to help, but to cover up the incident so no one can tell what happened. But the boss man, Gordon Freeman, fights through. He finally reaches the top, but only to realize the whole lab is under an artillery bombardment. So he runs back underground to find another exit. Throughout this, a security guard tells Gordon that he needs to send a satellite into orbit, whereafter some of the remaining scientists can use it to reverse the resonance cascade. He successfully completes the task, but on the way he encounters a new force. The government have now sent in super soldiers, the Black Ops, tasked with killing everyone, even the HECU soldiers deployed earlier. No survivors allowed. They even managed to get a hold of Freeman and dumps him into a trash compactor. But Freeman is such a legend, he even escapes the almost certain fate of death he was in. While Gordon Freeman is running around the Black Mesa facility, he stumbles onto a very secret part. This place contains some very interesting things. It's revealed some of the scientists had been collecting specimens from Sen long before the incident happened, which leaves you to wonder what else they could have already known. The HECU soldiers realize they are fighting a battle they cannot win against the Sen aliens. With this, and having continuously been unable to neutralize Gordon Freeman, they decide to abandon their mission and start evacuating the facility. Gordon reaches the Lambda complex where the scientist who needed the satellite to reverse the effect are holed up. It is here he discovers the teleportation technology that allowed the scientists to travel into the Sen before everything. The remaining scientist in this place tells Freeman that the satellite was unable to reverse the effect because of an immensely powerful being on the other side is keeping the rift between the worlds open. The only way for the rift to be closed is if Gordon travels into the Sen to kill this creature for good. Freeman at last travels to the Sen, where he finally encounters this creature. The creature is called the Nihilanth and looks like a gigantic, abnormally proportioned fetus with a massive head atop a smaller body with no legs, using levitation to float. It needs a cord from its spine to its back of the head to keep its head standing upright because it's so big. It has 3 fingers, multiple eyes, and a third appendage from its chest. You would think the head is so big because of the massive brain it needs to have to wield these telepathic powers, but upon killing the being, it is revealed that its head opens up like a flower to reveal a very small brain in the middle. The name Nihilanth also refers to this, the word anth being Greek and meaning flower due to the way its head opens up at the end. And yeah, that's pretty much what happens at the end of the game, / the end of the Black Mesa incident. The Earth gets saved and everything is good. Oh, wait.
Oh no, not this time. Pay attention. I'm only going to say this once. Prepare for unforeseen consequences.
After the portal shuts, the whole facility gets nuked to cover up any evidence of its existence. But otherwise, the world was saved. Wait. Yeah, so you're asking, but there's a Half-Life 2. Well, how? Yeah, let me tell you a couple / multiple things I left out. Before Half-Life 2, there are some key factors needed to know. Things that would change the world forever. Remember how I said no aliens were native to the Sen? That the aliens living there had escaped into the world to hide from something? What was this thing they were hiding from? Well. The interdimensional war between the Sen and Earth was pretty loud. Maybe loud isn't the right word, but let me just say it didn't go unnoticed. You see, the Nihilanth was pretty evil, but maybe it was just because we didn't understand it. The Nihilanth was a member of a species beyond the Sen dimension. It had its own homeworld, in its own universe. The Nihilanth species appeared to be almost a godlike creature in its nature. It strived good in its own world, but during an unknown time, the species came into contact with an evil force. What followed was a genocidal war against the Nihilanths were hunted down to almost extinction, and the Nihilanth encountered in Half-Life 1 was the only survivor of its kind. The only reason it survived was because it managed to escape into the border world Sen. In the border world, it was not the only species that had escaped from this force. Many others had as well. One of these creatures was the Vortigaunts. Throughout Half-Life 1, they were thought to be just like the other aliens, but could be encountered where they wouldn't try to hurt you. The reason for this was actually because when the Nihilanth escaped into Sen, it had to put itself at top of the food chain. And because the Vortigaunts were very intelligent and social creatures, the Nihilanth enslaved the species. So when the humans opened the rift into Sen, the Nihilanth saw this as an opportunity to escape further away from the evil force encountered earlier. So it sent all its slaves through the portal to do its fighting. So when the last Nihilanth was killed, the Vortigaunt species were now freed. So Gordon Freeman quickly became the almighty savior in their eyes. Thanks to him, they did get freed. But after this relative small interdimensional rift was closed, it started causing other problems. Portal storms started raging all across Earth, bringing large amounts of Zen wildlife onto Earth. Some good, for example the Vortigaunts, but also a lot hostile, like the headcrabs. Earth's government started fighting these and set up protection across Earth to fight them. But the kept going war was tiring on the militaries. And just like that, as I said, the war between Earth and Zen didn't go unnoticed. The exact thing the Nihilans and Vortigaunts tried escaping from had now been brought to the attention of Earth's existence. What was this evil force? Combine is an immense, interdimensional empire. The ultimate goal of the Combine is to enslave and control the whole multiverse. And these motherfuckers had just been acknowledged the existence of Earth. The Combine's homeworld, no one knows what is or where are. It is speculated that it's the Combine's overworld, but even that place, pretty much no one knows exists, or even what it looks like. The 7-hour war. So, as soon as the Combine knew about Earth, they launched an attack. The world became overswarmed by the Combine, while projectiles were sent down from space, raining upon big cities. All Earth's countries wrote an agreement on working together fighting this thing. After only a few hours, it was clear that the war was gonna end bad. So the former Black Mesa administrator Dr. Wallace Breen managed to get in contact with the extraterrestrial force, making a peace offering. The deal went through, but at the cost of all of humanity's freedom. The war ended after just 7 hours. That's why it's called the 7-hour war. All of Earth's military forces, cities and countries destroyed, and the remaining humans became slaves to the Combine. The remaining humans were put in organized city centers. It is believed there are up to 27 cities left, with the outside world filled with creatures from other worlds, making it unable to survive/live there. Facilities like Nova Prospect were opened, built on old man-made infrastructure, for example prisons. Their new goals were to modify humans, erase their memory and make them into Combine workforce and military. The Combine also started sucking the oceans dry, exploiting the water we have on Earth. They started drugging the tap water.
Don't drink the water. They put something in it to make you forget. I don't even remember how I got here.
So when humans drank the water from the sinks, they start to forget and believe that the Combine isn't that evil, making rebellion less likely. They also put down suppression fields, making it impossible for humans to reproduce. The Vault. Half-Life Alyx. Years later, we are following a member of the Resistance, Alyx Vance, who is working together with Russell and her dad Eli Vance, who was a worker at Black Mesa when the Black Mesa incident happened. They are working on small-time rebellion jobs, until one day where they stumble upon a massive building, floating in the air outside of City 17. They are not sure what it is, except that they definitely weren't supposed to see/find that. Soon after, Russell and Eli get raided by the Combine soldiers, and Alyx's dad gets taken as a hostage. Luckily, Alyx and Russell later manages to break Eli free through a train heist, and with the help of a Vortigaunt. Anyways, Alyx is sent outside of the City 17 perimeters and closes in on the flying building. They are afraid that it's a super weapon capable of destroying Earth. So they start exploding cables, giving it power and making it able to float in the air. With the help of the Vortigaunts, who are also helping the rebels, they also start cutting down cables. But soon Eli and Russell realize that the building isn't a weapon, it's a prison. But not just a normal prison built for people who fought against the Combine. No, It's a prison for a specific person. It's revealed the prison is detaining a prisoner who survived the Black Mesa incident. They quickly realized that it must be Gordon Freeman they are holding up there, since they originally thought he was dead, but this would explain his disappearance after the Black Mesa incident. They can see that the person is so dangerous that even the Combine fears him. So, they start fighting through the Combine. They manage to destroy the vault and beam Alyx up. As she walks and fights through the corridors, she is introduced to a massive room, containing so much energy and power pointed at one little room in the middle. As she walks up to the room to free Gordon inside, the glass breaks, time stops, and a man in a suit turns around.
Impressive work, Ms. Vance.
Gordon Freeman?
Gordon Freeman. Ms. Vance, you wouldn't need all that to imprison Gordon Freeman.
So, who are you?
The G-Man, a sinister interdimensional bureaucrat. It is quickly revealed the man in front of her is not Gordon. He is of something else, another power. Alyx and him talk while they are floating through space. The offer of something that will change the outcome of a situation in the future is thrown out. Whether or not it does, we will or may not see. She is told she has impressed the employers, which we do not know who are. They were dissatisfied with Gordon Freeman's willingness to perform tasks and revealed that she could be his worthy successor. The conversation ends, and it's revealed Alyx has been hired. The man she talks with, we know nothing about at all. He is probably the biggest mystery in the world of Half-Life. He looks like a human, but yet he wields superhuman powers. His identity is unknown. So unknown that nobody ever knew what he was called. He was just known as the man in the suit until one day, where people were digging through the files to the game, stumbling upon a folder called G-Man, which contained him. And that's where we got his name from. And the G actually just stands for Government Man. So, yeah. Now, I never mentioned the G-Man earlier, but he do actually appear throughout Half-Life 1. He can be spotted places with no access to watching and observing Gordon Freeman. And at the end of Half-Life 1, after killing the Nihilanth, he appears in front of Gordon Freeman. He is told that he has impressed the G-Man and that he will recommend Gordon's services to his employers. Gordon is then proposed a choice to take a job working for the employers or fight through a horde of aliens without no weapon. Now, in all honesty, there is no choice. Gordon has been fooled by the Hobson's choice, illusion of free choice, but nevertheless, Gordon accepts the job and is put in stasis. Gordon never died in the Black Mesa explosion or hid from the world after the Black Mesa incident were over. No. He was literally gone in an induced coma of sorts. The motive of the G-Man is never revealed. We don't know if he's good or evil or who his employers are. Sometimes he helps Gordon, and other times he is seen putting obstacles in the way of him. Which sides is he on? We just know that the Combine are afraid of the G-Man and his employers. Everything else remains a mystery. It's 20 years after Half-Life 1, and Gordon is finally put out of his stasis. The G-Man explains it was for his own safety, and the opportunity of fighting the Combine forces has arisen. This is after Half-Life Alyx, and Alyx has also been put out of stasis. When, we don't know, but I would imagine around the same time. Gordon Freeman is on a train headed towards City 17. When he arrives, he is introduced to the world and how it has changed. It is his first time seeing the Combine and Vortigaunts side by side with humans, and a spectacular sight at the building called the Citadel, a building containing a form of portal to the Combine's overworld. Gordon Freeman is taken in by the Resistance member Barney Calhoun, an undercover Combine Resistance member, and introduces Gordon to Dr. Isaac Kleiner, Gordon's mentor from his Black Mesa days. Later, Gordon is captured by the Combine under a civil protection raid, but is rescued by a young woman named Alyx Vance. He is then taken to Dr. Kleiner's lab to be teleported to Black Mesa East, but under the teleportation, Kleiner's head crab pet Lamar jumps onto the device, fucking up the process. Gordon is teleported around the world and at last to Dr. Breen's office. He recognizes Gordon and puts the whole Citadel and Combine forces on full alert, after he is at last teleported to his final destination outside of Kleiner's lab. Because the teleportation failed, Gordon's only option is through the tunnels and sewers and canals. Before going, he is given his first weapon, the crowbar. After fighting through the sewers, he finds an airboat. Aboard the airboat, he flies through the canals, fighting Combine soldiers and at last a Combine helicopter. At last he arrives to Black Mesa East, where he is reintroduced to his old colleague Eli Vance and his daughter Alyx Vance again. He also meets her pet named Dog. He is also given the gravity gun here. But the base gets raided and they are all separated. Gordon needs to fight through Ravenholm, also known as the most creepy place in Half-Life 2. After fighting through Ravenholm, Gordon finally arrives to Highway 17, a highway located at the dried out shores, where he is acknowledged that Eli Vance has been taken to Nova Prospect. Along the last road of Highway 17, he gets a hold of an antlion theropod with the help of a Vortigaunt, which means Gordon can control the entire antlion army on the beaches of Highway 17. With this power, he launches a full-out assault on the prison Nova Prospect. The base gets overrun with antlions, Resistance members gets freed, and the battle for Nova Prospect prevails. But it is here that Alyx Vance and Gordon discovers that a member of the Resistance, Judith Mossman, was a spy for the Combine, taking Alyx's dad Eli in front of her eyes and teleports themselves to the Citadel. Alyx and Gordon quickly uses the same teleporter back to Dr. Kleiner's lab. After arriving to his lab, Kleiner informs the two that the two has been missing for a week, which means they were stuck in a teleportation loop. But the teleportation they did also caused the destruction of Nova Prospect, which the Resistance members took as a sign to begin the uprising. The Resistance has been fighting for a week and all of City 17 has turned into a war zone. Alyx and Gordon splits up and Gordon fights with the Resistance members against the Combine forces. But before we go on, I would like to go through the Combine forces and what they consist of. The Combine forces. The most known military force spotted all around Earth are the Combine Overwatch, being a transhuman soldier, cyborg-like. They are met throughout the game, almost everywhere. They are humans who have been modified with obedience, emotional suppression, and enhanced fighting skills. Some people signed up to becoming this since they were promised food and such on, but in all honesty they are only given the bare maximum to survive and do the tasks they are assigned to. Here is a picture of one without armor, which proves the promise were a lie. There exist different soldiers, for example the civil protection found in cities, the better soldiers found at the perimeters and outside of the cities, and at last the big boys, being squad leaders and really dangerous. In Half-Life Alyx, other soldiers also existed, like some with much more armor and shield, and others with heavy weaponry. It seems this maybe have been unnecessary, and therefore the Combine removed this in the future. Hence is why we don't see them in Half-Life 2. On to the other weird military forces. The next ones are called synths. They are creatures that through evolution and alteration by the Combine have been turned into biomechanical weapons. They were once living creatures from other worlds, but when introduced to the Combine, they were enslaved and turned into weapons by the Combine. Various synths have been brought over to Earth by the Combine. These are dropships, which fly in and drop off more support if needed by the Combine. Gunships, which is much like an attack helicopter, but just a living creature. And striders, looking much like a giant creepy spider on 3 legs that can shoot. They are 15 meters tall, they are built out of an exoskeleton and have a human looking brain that leaks yellow fluids. When killed, it moans out a disturbing cry. I really wanted to know more and tell more about these creatures, since I myself thought they were really intriguing, but sadly there just isn't much interesting stuff known about them that I can tell about to you guys. Anyways, back to the game. After having fought his way to Barney's location with the Resistance members, Alyx also meets up. But on her way to help Gordon, she gets captured by the Combine and taken to the Citadel. Gordon fights at the foot of the Citadel with Barney through heavy combat against elite soldiers, gunships and striders. At last he manages to get inside of the Citadel, hopping inside a stalker delivery pod, using its large transportation system to try and get into Banner's office. The Citadel. Throughout his ride in the pod, he sees the interior of the Citadel that contrasts the featureless exterior. Inside, an abundance of Combine technology can be seen, ranging from countless generators, force fields and elevators and platforms that defy gravity, to giant tubes transporting unknown fluids. The entire building is built from the same black-bluish metal that all Combine structures are made from. No attempt to try and provide the personnel with any form of warmth or pleasant aesthetic. Everything is sharp, cold and soulless, mirroring the Combine's rule. The metal is unfinished and oxidizing. The human features that are present, like walkways, ladders and stairs, seems to just be an afterthought. It is here the new synths also can be spotted, never fought but just seen. They are the mortar synth and the crab synth. Never seen in action, so not much is known about them. But as I mentioned earlier, there is something called the stalker pods. What is a stalker? Well, they are seen for the first time here. These guys are really creepy and really sparked my interest in the Combine. Stalkers are humans who have been altered physically and mentally through brutal synth engineering. These servants are mindless workers operating machinery and guarding the core at the Citadel. The people getting turned into stalkers are usually people fighting the Combine, so Resistance members for example. The surgeries the humans undergo are done at the facility Nova Prospect, destroyed earlier. After this, the stalkers are transported in trains, which much of the cargo in these trains consist of. They are driven to the Citadel in these racer trains, where they are dropped off to do work. The stalker hands and foots have been cut off and replaced with metallic augmentation, reducing agility and resulting in an almost zombie-like movement. They are unable to talk and only make roars and grunts much like animals, since their vocal cords have been cut out. For easy maintenance, the digestive tracts has been pulled out, which means they are solely surviving on a nutrition solution administered via the gastric ports in their sides. Stalker bodies are almost like a skeleton with very little to none muscle and fat tissue left. Their facial features have been replaced with a metal plate with pinholes for their eyes. Their reproductive organs have also been removed. On the side of the metal plate there are hinges as well, which can be closed during times of inactivity. Stalkers are also capable of shooting lasers out of their eyes that they use for welding and fixing stuff when working. Stalkers' brains have been altered to just fix and do tasks they are assigned to. Knowledge of whether they are aware of the pain they are in are not known. except they sometimes try to resist things they are forced to go through. After traveling the pod throughout the Citadel, Gordon is dropped into security, where all Gordon's weapons are taken except for his gravity gun. The Combine technology somehow has a reversing effect on it, resulting in massively overpowering the gun. With this, Gordon fights through the Citadel's walkways, instantly killing every enemy and vaporizing their weapons. At last he arrives in Breen's office in a stalker pod again. Judith Mossman, Eli Vance and Alyx Vance is also there. Judith then turns on Breen, freeing Gordon, Alyx and Eli. Breen escapes and Gordon and Alyx run after him, while Judith and Eli stay behind. It is overheard that Breen is talking with somebody, trying to get a host body so he can escape into the Combine overworld, which makes it sound like that the place is not human fitted and that it's not possible to survive there as a human. Breen then spots Alyx and Gordon and flees. Gordon and Alyx finds the dark energy reactor at the very top of the Citadel. Breen starts ascending and opens the portal to the Combine overworld. Gordon manages to destroy the reactor, causing it to fail and explodes, apparently killing Breen and almost Alyx and Gordon. But as soon as it explodes, time freezes.
Time, Dr. Freeman? Is it really that time again? It seems as if you only just arrived.
The G-Man appears and informs you have done your job and will be put back into stasis, meaning Alyx will be killed and so on. That's how the game ends.
This is where I get off.
Half-Life Episode 1. So, before you're put into stasis, the Vortigons appears and saves Alyx, and they then forces the G-Man away with a force field, meaning they also save Gordon. The G-Man gets pretty angry and says this:
We'll see about that.
This could be a reference to what the G-Man tells Alyx in Half-Life Alyx, as I mentioned earlier, that Gordon wasn't doing what he was being told to do since he is capable of time traveling. After that, Gordon and Alyx wakes up at the bottom of the tower, with Dog digging them out moments before it's about to explode. They somehow, with the help of the Vortigons, travel back in time, but the time span is so small that they can't make it out of City 17 before the Citadel explodes. So, they run back inside the Citadel to try and stall the reactor a bit more. They manage to do this, and while inside, they see some weird creature escaping the Citadel, hurting Alyx and Gordon telepathically. After this, Gordon and Alyx runs towards the train station that can take them out of the city before the Citadel explodes. On the way, you can really see how destroyed the city has become, and that only ruins are left. On the way, they also fight the remaining Combine forces in the city that are also trying to escape, as well as picking up the remaining Resistance members and evacuating them. They manage to board a train before the Citadel explodes and head towards the outskirts of City 17. Dog they already sent on his way, and Eli Vance and Judith has already been brought to White Forest, which is the place Gordon and Alyx are headed. Aboard the train, the Citadel is seen exploding behind them. Many advisor pods can also be seen escaping. Half-Life 2, Episode 2. Alyx and Gordon survives the explosion, but the train they traveled with didn't, meaning it crashed and they almost died. City 17 can be spotted in ruins, and instead of the Citadel being there, a new super portal looms over where the Citadel once stood. On the way to White Forest, Gordon and Alyx encounters a new foe called Hunters. They are fast and have good agility. They can remind a bit of a small strider. These creatures are very, very dangerous and is also a synth, meaning living creature turned to weapon. When they encounter the hunter, one of them manages to get Alyx and actually stabs her in the back. It then runs away. After, Antlion starts approaching, but just in time a Vortigand arrives to stabilize Alyx's health. Together they are brought to security, where multiple Vortigands step in to heal Alyx while Gordon fends off Antlions. While the Vortigands are focused on healing her,
Dr. Freeman.
the G-Man steps in and contacts Gordon. He reveals she is of much importance to his plans, despite his earlier doings, meaning he could be talking about he went back in time, hiring Alyx instead of Gordon because he don't want to work together. This might be confusing, but the G-Man is able to bend time the way he wants to, so this should be kept in mind. He whispers to Alyx to tell her father to
prepare for unforeseen consequences.
After Alyx's health is back to normal, Gordon and her starts their journey to White Forest again. On their way to White Forest, they try to warn the base with radio towers that impending attacks are on the way, but with no success, so they have to get there fast before the attacks hit. On the way they encounter telepathic attacks again, and out of curiosity they investigate a nearby barn, revealing an advisor pod. Now, you may be asking, what is an advisor pod? Well, let me tell you. These creatures are commonly speculated to be the master race of the Combine Empire. They are super intelligent grub-like creatures with no facial features. They have a gas mask and a cybernetic eyepiece on their faceplate. Each advisor wears a skin-tight olive green bodysuit with golden glyphs around their neck. They also have robotic arms capable of grabbing and lifting humans. They mainly use telepathic powers to fight and control things, whilst being able to float like the Nihilanth. These are the highest ranked beings seen throughout the games. Therefore, they are believed to be the leaders. They are also spotted telling Breen what to do in the games. So yeah, these are some dirty bastards. Throughout the game, one also mentions that the advisors are hatching, referencing to that it might be possible that this is just their first stage of evolution and that they are capable of becoming much more dangerous. Anyways, back to the advisor pod they find. Alyx reveals its life support and Gordon damages it with his gravity gun. The advisor emerges from its mechanical cocoon, showing its true telepathic powers by pinning both Alyx whilst almost killing Gordon. Luckily, because its life support is destroyed, it has to escape before killing him. After fighting their way through a lot more Combine military, they manage to meet up with Dog outside of White Forest. Together they arrive at White Forest, meeting up with their friends Eli Vance, Isaac Kleiner, and meet another old Black Mesa scientist, Arne Magnussen. They are told that the White Forest team are planning to launch a rocket using the old satellite launched in Half-Life 1, as well as a data packet Alyx carried throughout the game. With these things, they should be able to close the newly formed super portal. Judith Mossman also makes a call to them, telling about a powerful weapon created by Aperture Science called the Borealis. Eli says it must not be used since it could cause a new Black Mesa incident, but Dr. Kleiner wants to use it against the Combine. But they still want to rescue Judith, so Gordon and Alyx is tasked with doing so. But before, the G-Man speaks to Eli and Gordon, telling to prepare for unforeseen consequences. Eli tells Gordon that he has known about the G-Man for a long time, and that he delivered the very same message to him before doing the experiment back at Black Mesa in Half-Life 1. However, they are interrupted by an attack on the base. The Combine attack has finally arrived, and Gordon goes out to fight off the attack. After fighting off the Combine, Gordon walks back inside the base to launch the rocket with the others. Whilst they watch the rocket fly up into the air to close the super portal, Eli whispers to Gordon that he believes the warning from the G-Man is regarding the Borealis, telling Gordon to destroy it. He thanks Gordon like he was his own son. The rocket closes the super portal, so Combine reinforcements are no longer possible. All in all, a good and happy ending. Alyx tells she has found an old helicopter they can use to fly over to the Borealis. As they walk down to the helicopter hangar, an advisor flies in, pins Gordon and Alyx to the wall, and as you can see...
Dad!
Alyx!
Dad! Get away!
Listen to me. Destroy that ship. Whatever it takes. Destroy it.
Don't! Dad, look out! No! Dad! Dad! God damn it, let go of him! Oh my god!
I love you, sweetheart. Close your eyes, honey.
I love you, Dad!
Don't look.
No! Oh my god, no! No! Gordon! No! Dad! Oh god! Dad! Dad! Dad, please! Dad! Oh my god!
Yeah, that's the fucking ending. Now you know why Half-Life 3 is so important / episode 3, and why we are mad we never got it. The end. But, luckily I got something for you, so we don't end off on a bad note like how Valve likes to do things. I held some information back. As you probably remember, I mentioned something that could change the outcome of a situation in the future back in Half-Life Alyx. Alyx gets the offer to save her dad's life in the future, if she says yes to being hired by the G-Man. And as you can see, she chooses to save his life. So yeah, the timeline was probably changed, and somehow in the next game we will see the outcome of what Alyx chose back in Half-Life Alyx. Eli should survive this incident luckily, but of course we cannot be entirely sure. As you all know, time traveling gets pretty confusing. But yeah, definitely lots of stuff we don't know yet. Also, another thing, Portal 2 takes place between 27,000 and 50,000 years in the future of Half-Life 2, which means that the Earth still exists in the future and wildlife still exists. Whether or not humans do, we still don't know. But I mean, luckily we can confirm that the Earth still exists. So that's pretty good. But yeah, question still remains and we just don't know. I think it's probably one of the most interesting worlds to explore and look at the different things. It's very, very deep. But yeah, while researching for the video, I came upon the knowledge of Half-Life 2 beta, which was supposed to be much more dark. People compare the two game versions like this. So yeah, it was apparently too dark to get released to the public, which I thought was very interesting. So let me know if I should do a video about the story of Half-Life 2 beta. Also, I'm thinking about releasing some merch. Follow my IG again for more info, and remember to let me know if I should. Don't worry, it's not merch like that. This is more like clothing, like a new clothing line, not some bullshit with my name on. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and sorry for the wait. Before ending though, I also want to give a big shout out to bLEACHeye for providing me with the gameplay and the videos, and also a big shout out to Skyrion for some footage as well. Also, he makes great videos exploring the individual things in the Half-Life universe, which are very good. So check him out if you want more content like this.